Question 2, what are the solutions of this quadratic equation? 4x squared minus 40x plus 109 equals 0. So we're going to use quadratic formula in this problem because I can just see the answer choices. None of these are nice and neat. So this problem is not going to really be able to be factored. Okay, so to do quadratic formula, it needs to be in standard form, which is just ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's standard form. And looky here, it's already equal to 0, so it's in standard form. So we can clearly see that a is 4, b is negative 40, and c is positive 109. So we're going to go about everywhere we see a b, we're going to replace it with a parentheses negative 40. I always like to use the parentheses just to keep the problem nice and tidy. Everywhere we see an a, we're going to replace it with a positive 4 in this problem. And then c, everywhere we see a c, we're going to replace it with a parenthesis 109. So let's go about doing that. Let me switch colors to red. And so negative parenthesis negative 40, again, I'm just starting right here in the quadratic formula, plus or minus the square root, parenthesis negative 40 squared, minus 4, parenthesis a, which is 4, multiplied by parenthesis c, which is 109, all divided by 2a, or all divided by 2, parenthesis 4. So let's just take this one step at a time. I like to take care of the discriminant first, and I'm going to use a calculator. So I'm going to type in the discriminant in a calculator. Recall that the discriminant is just the expression underneath the square root, doesn't include the square root symbol. I want to show you how I type this in because most of the mistakes in a problem like this are calculator mistakes. So we're going to type it in just like that. And we get negative 144. So I'm going to rewrite this problem as positive 40. And why did I put positive 40? Well, because I've got a negative sign here and a negative sign here, and a negative negative becomes a positive. So it's a positive 40 plus or minus the square root of negative 144, all divided by 8. Of course, 2 times 4 is just 8. And the negative 144, we should recognize that that is a perfect square, but when you have a negative involved, let's do that off to the side. Negative 144 we can rewrite as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 144. Square root of 144, of course, is just 12. The square root of negative 1 is equivalent to I. And we want to rewrite this where the 12 is first. So that's 12i. So the square root of negative 144 is 12i, everything divided by 8. And then from there, finally, all three of these numbers, 40, 8, and 12, are all divisible by 4. So we can divide each one of these numbers by 4. So 40 divided by 40 becomes 10. 12 divided by 4 becomes 3. 8 divided by 4 becomes 2. So I'm going to put this over here. I've got 10 plus or minus 3i all over 2. We're not quite at the correct answer, but what we can do now, 10 is divisible by 2, but the 3 isn't. So we can rewrite this as 10 over 2 plus or minus 3i over 2, and then of course 10 over 2 we can reduce to positive 5. And then we can clearly see our answer, 5 plus or minus 3 over 2i.